Hi, welcome back to Tang Fitness. If you sit at the desk all day and lead a sedentary lifestyle, you may have a posterior pelvic tilt, which refers to a condition where your pelvis is tilted backwards away from its neutral position. While a posterior pelvic tilt isn't as common as an anterior pelvic tilt, it still affects a majority of people and can have some pretty serious consequences. Firstly, it affects your posture as a whole as your upper back and neck try to compensate for this abnormal pelvic positioning, resulting in a flat back, rounder shoulders, also known as thoracic kyphosis, and a forward head posture. Over time, posterior pelvic tilts will lead to muscle imbalances, predisposing to neck and back pain. Furthermore, it can increase the compression load on the mid and lower back, which can lead to injuries including disc prolapse and disc herniation. It can even affect the way your clothes fit you and your self-confidence levels. I'm sharing with you in this video how to check if you have a posterior pelvic tilt and the corrective exercise for this pretty common postural condition. If you like this video and find this useful, please click the like button, please leave your comments below and share this video. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future weekly video release. Please also subscribe to this channel. This is completely free of charge, but will help the channel to grow. Thank you. First up, how do you know if you have a posterior pelvic tilt? Well, if you're not sure, we can perform the Thomas test. To do this effectively, you will need to take a video of yourself and watch it afterwards. So, first sit on the edge of the table, grab both of your knees and lean backwards until your back is flat on the table. Let go of one of your legs and extend at your hip until the back of your thigh touches the table. Well, if the back of your thigh touches the table without a gap between your thigh and the table, then you don't have a posterior pelvic tilt. If you have a gap between your thigh and the table, even after straightening your leg, you may have a posterior pelvic tilt. And you can also check this in front of the mirror. Place one finger on the anterior superior iliac spine. This is the pointy bone at the front of your hip. Place another finger on the posterior superior iliac spine, and this is the pointy bone at the back of your hip. Compare the levels of these two landmarks. If you have posterior pelvic tilt, the finger at the front of your hip bone will be significantly higher in comparison to the fingers on the pointy bone at the back. Let's now consider the 5 most common causes of posterior pelvic tilt. If I were to blame just one thing, I would say sitting. You're either sitting too much or sitting with bad posture. And probably you're doing both. Excessive sitting causes certain muscles that control the position of the pelvis to get tight or overactive, and weak or inhibited. As a result, there's a muscular imbalance around the pelvis region, causing a net force to tilt backwards. It is important to take note of the muscles that are implicated in posterior pelvic tilt in order to devise an effective corrective exercise strategy. Let's first take a look at the tight or overactive muscles: hamstrings, glutes, and abs. And the weakened and elongated muscles include the hip flexors and the lumbar erector spinae. Second reason, prolonged standing with poor posture. If you find yourself rounding your lower back and hunching your shoulders when you stand, then you may have a sway back posture, flat back posture, or hyperkyphosis. All these postures have the characteristic of a posterior pelvic tilt. Thirdly, you can develop a posterior pelvic tilt if you're holding a heavy object for an extended period of time. As you try to support the heavy load with your hips, this elongates your back and shortens the abdominal muscles. Next, incorrect training strategies. If you're participating in an exercise program that focuses solely on developing your glutes, abdominal muscles, and hamstrings, you may be putting yourself at risk for a posterior pelvic tilt. When the abdominal muscles become overdeveloped compared to the counterbalancing back muscles, they can pull the pelvis back and cause a flattening of the normal curvature in your lumbar spine. Lastly, you can develop a posterior pelvic tilt if your mattresses or sleeping position restricts the natural curvature of your spine. And the rationale behind these corrective exercises is to reverse the muscle imbalances affecting the abnormal positioning of the pelvis. So we need to stretch those muscles that are chronically tight, like the abs and hamstrings. And we need to strengthen the muscles that are weakened, like glutes, deep core muscles, and the hip flexors and quads. Here are the stages through which you can regain your proper pelvic alignment. First, we need to release the tightened muscles. It is vital to release the muscles that are responsible for holding the pelvis in a posterior pelvic tilt, like the glutes, hamstrings, and abdominal muscles. To release your hamstrings, place your hamstrings on top of a massage ball or foam roller. Use your body weight to apply pressure onto your hamstrings, making sure to cover the entire hamstring muscles. Do this for 60 seconds and then alternate sides. To release your glutes, place your glutes on top of a massage ball. Use your body weight to apply pressure onto your glutes. Make sure you cover the entire muscle. Do this for 60 seconds and then move to the other side. For the lower abdominal muscles, lie on your stomach, place a massage ball under the lower abdominal region. Gently circulate your body weight on top of the ball. Be careful not to apply too much pressure though. Use deep breaths to help to relax your muscles and hold this for 60 seconds. Once you have released these tightened muscles, it is vital to stretch them to restore the original length-tension relationship. First up, hamstrings. So how do you know if your hamstrings are tight? You should be able to sit on the ground with your back up against the wall whilst keeping your legs completely straight, while maintaining a normal lower back arch. If you can't, it is likely that you have tight hamstrings. There are many ways to stretch your hamstrings, and let's try the seated hamstring stretch. Begin in a seated position on a chair. Stretch your left leg out in front of you. Bend forward to reach for your toes, to a point where you feel a slight stretch. Hold this position for 20 seconds and repeat on the other side. To stretch your glutes, lie on your back with your knees bent and feet on the floor. Place your left ankle on the right knee. Grab your right knee and pull towards your chest. Aim to feel a stretch on your left glutes. Hold for 30 seconds and then repeat on the other side. To stretch your abs, lie on the ground with your hands flat on the floor at the level of your shoulders. Slowly push to raise your shoulders off the ground until you feel a slight stretch. Increase your range of motion by exhaling as you push further into lumbar extension. Aim for 5 repetitions. Next, we need to mobilize our joints because tight hips can make it very difficult to maintain a neutral pelvic alignment. Let's start with the posterior capsule stretch. Start on all fours and assume the position as shown. Make sure your knees is directly underneath your hip. Maintain the lower back arch throughout the movement. Now push your hips backwards. Feel a deep stretch in the back of your hip. Hold this for 30 seconds and repeat 3 times. And then repeat on the other side. You can loosen your hip by trying this banded hip distraction. Lie on the floor, fix one end of a resistance band to a stable station, whilst hooking the other end to your foot. Elevate it with a foam roller below your calf with your foot slightly abducted. Relax and allow the resistance band to pull your foot away from you. Aim to feel a pulling sensation in the hip. Hold for about 30 seconds. Repeat for 3 times, and then on the other side. For the leg bent version of the banded hip distraction, lie on the floor in position as shown. Anchor a thick resistance band to a stationary object. Flex your hip to 90 degrees. Wrap the resistance band as high up into the hip crease as possible. Move your whole body further away from the anchor point. This creates tension on the band. Hold on your knees with your hands. Keep your hips completely relaxed. Hold for 1 to 2 minutes and then alternate sides. Next week, we're going to take a look at how we can activate and strengthen the inhibited and weakened muscles that are implicated in posterior pelvic tilt. See you next week. Thank you. Thank you for watching until the end. If you like this video, please click the like button. Please leave your comments below and share this video. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future weekly video release. Please also subscribe to this channel. This is free of charge but will help the channel to grow. If you're interested in improving your health and fitness or losing weight, if you suffer from or wish to prevent back pain, please take a look at my book, which is now available from Amazon worldwide. Thank you.